Cancer is the second leading cause of cancer in the United States. And if I asked the audience to raise their hand to the following question of who had directly dealt with cancer or currently knows someone undergoing treatment for cancer, the results would be almost 100%. The American Cancer Society tells us that in 2017, there were 1,688,780 new diagnoses of cancer and 600,920 deaths caused by cancer. Despite these extremely high numbers, the National Cancer Institute and other cancer research foundations allot only 1% of their budget to palliative care research and education. Everyone knows with cancer comes all the side effects of the disease itself and the treatments. Today what I really want to stress is the importance of what palliative care actually is, what it helps patients and family with, and why it is so important to the improvement in quality of life. The biggest misconception that I know as a medical professional is that people think palliative care and hospice are the same thing. So when palliative care is brought up, people automatically say, no way, we're not at that point of life, not at the point of our diagnosis. Palliative care is defined by the National Cancer Institute as care provided to improve the quality of life of patients who have a serious or life-threatening disease such as cancer, with a goal to prevent or treat as early as possible the symptoms and side effects of the disease and its treatment. The biggest difference, hospice does the same thing. The biggest difference is that hospice patients have been given less than 6 months to live as part of their criteria, and patients are admitting all curative treatment. Palliative care allows you in conjunction to do chemotherapy and radiation for cancer patients. So it's so important for palliative care to begin at the beginning of a diagnosis. Now with cancer come with all the side effects, and palliative care has experts on their team to help with the physical, emotional, practical, and spiritual issues that come along with it. We always hear about the physical issues a lot. Pain, fatigue, lost appetite, nausea and vomiting, shortness of breath, and difficulty sleeping. When palliative care is started at the beginning, these symptoms can be treated and prevented more effectively by medications. They can do nutrition therapy or physical therapy. They can add a supplemental shake. They teach people deep breathing exercises and relaxation techniques. And then patients can do chemotherapy and radiation to shrink tumors that are causing pain. Studies show that 90% of patients with advanced cancer experience severe pain, where 30% of all cancer patients experience some sort of pain, despite the stage. Yet 50% of cancer patients report they were undertreated for their pain throughout their treatment. When it comes to cancer, there's a lot of emotions. Grief, anxiety, depression are just a few. And a palliative care team can help with family counseling, family meetings, get you in touch with support groups, and then refer to you with mental health professionals if that's needed at end of life. It's so important for that to be started at the beginning of a diagnosis because those are very touchy subjects. No one wants to deal with depression or thoughts of suicide. And if you are introduced to a palliative care team at the beginning of your treatment, you get comfortable with them, they can monitor you better, they follow you throughout the disease, and then they feel comfortable making suggestions and you feel comfortable that they know you and your situation well enough to make that suggestion adequately. Another big issue is the cost. Cancer does not come cheaply, and most people have financial worries. For many, the medical jargon and the forms for advance directives and short-term disability for employment, insurance paperwork are extremely hard to understand and just add extra stress on the whole situation. The palliative care team can make suggestions to trusted financial counselors. They can help understand medical forms and legal advice, and they can identify local and national resources for transportation and housing agencies. There are many nonprofit organizations all over the United States that are dedicated to help patients and their families. We have one in Bourbon County. This small county of Bourbon County has a nonprofit organization that has celebrated their 10-year anniversary, and they are strictly here in the county to help patients, cancer patients, with gas, with utility bills, groceries, to help get their medications. People make meals and get drivers. And they provide emotional support. It's so important to have that for the patient and the family throughout the whole time, because they don't have time to worry about all those extra things when they're worried about treatment and doctor's appointments and things like that. One of the biggest questions patients ask is, I can't pay for anything else. How am I going to pay for palliative care? Palliative care is covered by most insurances because it's considered a prevention. They prevent the excess ER visits and the extra hospitalizations. The palliative care team will have some of these experts right at their fingertips. But if not, they have the experience and knowledge to ease the transition of each phase to help with these common and uncommon problems. The spiritual aspect, when people get diagnosed with cancer, some people grow in their faith and really trust in the Lord, and other people, or whatever religion they have, other people really start to doubt their meaning and have difficulty. They struggle with this diagnosis. Experts in the spiritual area can help people explore their beliefs and values and find a sense of peace and reach a point of acceptance that is appropriate for their stage of care. Now finally, how does palliative care improve quality of life, and why is it so important? Research from the National Cancer Institute and the NCBI shows that palliative care and its components are beneficial to patients and their families' health and well-being. Throughout the years, several studies have been done showing that patients who have their symptoms controlled and are able to communicate their emotional needs have a better experience with medical care, and their quality of life and physical symptoms improve. The Institute of Medicine in 2007 report Cancer Care for the Whole Patient cites many studies that show patients are less able to adhere to their life-saving treatment when their pain and other symptoms aren't controlled. Early palliative care also decreases cost because it decreases emergency room visits and extra hospitalizations. So it was proven in a study that patients who had a palliative care team from the beginning were hospitalized only 36% of the time. 36 of those patients were hospitalized throughout their treatment. Patients with just standard care were hospitalized. There were 59% of them were hospitalized. Palliative care also makes people more adherent to their plan. Now, I know everyone wants what's best for their family member and their friend. So why would we withhold care that's only going to improve their quality of life and make their treatment plan better? I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen about what palliative care is, how it helps, and how it improves quality of life. And I really hope and encourage that if you know someone going through cancer diagnosis, that you just talk to them about palliative care and see if they have asked their doctor about it. Thanks again, and I hope you guys learned something today.